Hello, and welcome to today's live session where we're going to dive into mindset mastery, overcoming leadership challenges. Today's discussion is really important, especially in the world we live in today where challenges are constant. And I believe that with the right mindset, we can turn our challenges, into opportunities for growth. Hi, I'm Leslie Gadet, self care strategist dedicated to empowering female entrepreneurs and their teams to use their time more efficiently, break the burnout cycle, and enhance their quality of life in business and beyond. My journey into understanding the role of mindset began with a deep reflection on my own beliefs around money and my own self worth. Beliefs that for a long time held me back from truly stepping into living my life. I grew up in a biracial family with financial struggles that just seemed endless. There really wasn't any structure or learning around how to manage money, how to respect money, that money was energy, that, to learn how to like balance it out, to use it well or wisely, not just spend it frivolously. And I believe that because of my background, that I wasn't good enough, that success and financial stability weren't meant for people like me. These were lies, which I call them lies because that's what they were, and they shaped how I viewed my worth and my capabilities for many years. Even though I was successful in my career choice, I did really well, and I've been in the industry of law for over 4 decades now. It really wasn't until I challenged the beliefs that I had, recognized them as falsehoods that they are, that I began to see change. And I realized that respect, success, and financial security were not only just possible for me, but they were always within reach. More importantly, I learned that my value isn't determined by external factors, but by my actions and my commitment to growth, and really about how I look at myself. Because I think for me, I really didn't look at myself with kindness. And that's why I went on a self-development journey. And with that, I talked about that way back in the beginning of the year. But it's when I went in my self-development journey and learned to really love the person staring back at me in my reflection that really started the change, the shift in how I started showing up in the world. So the goal today is not just to share strategies, but to inspire a shift in perspective. We're here to explore how adjusting our mindset can profoundly impact how we handle stress, how we make our decisions, and how we lead our teams. It's about moving from a mindset that limits us to one that empowers us to thrive, no matter the circumstances. So, with that understanding in mind, let's dive deeper into how our mindset can become our greatest asset in leadership. So let's unpack the concept of mindset and its pivotal role in leadership. It's more than just a passing thought or belief. It's the underlying convictions that shape our reality. It influences how we perceive challenges, how we interact with our teams, I should say, and ultimately how we make our decisions. It's the lens through which we view our experiences in the world around us. Our mindset's born out of our life experiences. So the things that we go through craft our beliefs, which in turn drive our thoughts. These thoughts aren't idle. They stir our emotions that prompt our actions, and our actions then bring results that can either reinforce our existing beliefs or inspire new ones. It's a continuous cycle, one that holds the power to either elevate us to new heights or keep us bound to the same spot. And for leaders, a positive mindset translates into resilience and adaptability, qualities that are essential for navigating the complex landscape of leadership. And it allows us to approach stress not as an impossible obstacle, but as a challenge that can be understood, that it can be managed and utilized to drive us forward. Decision making becomes not just a task, but it's an opportunity for us to steer our teams and our businesses towards success, even in the face of uncertainty. So, when we talk about problems like chronic stress, poor time management, a lack of motivation, we're often dealing with outward manifestations of a deeper internal dialogue. It's a conversation that has been shaped over time by our mindset. And for many, beneath these surface issues lie shame filled issues like a silent dialogue in our heads on a loop of self doubt, the fears of underachievement or never meeting our goals, and feelings of inadequacy that are all too common. In fact, even going so far as maybe fearing success, because what happens if you become successful? Does that change me? Who do I become? Am I worthy and deserving, and am I good enough to be successful? That was something that one of my internal dialogues that I had to learn to really navigate, because I was afraid of success, because I was believing that success meant that I was going to become a different person, someone that wasn't me. I wasn't no longer going to be me anymore. And I wasn't going to be able to do the things in life the way the current me is still doing. Being successful didn't change that. But becoming successful, before that, my mindset was thinking success scary. At one point I was thinking of failure, but when I turned my mindset to being afraid of success, that was came with a whole different set of beliefs that I had to unpack. And again, that came down to the money portion too, which I shared earlier. So addressing these isn't just about finding more hours in the day. This is something else too to think about. It's not about finding more hours in your day or ticking off more tasks on our to-do list, so that we keep ourselves doing busy work. That's something too that I can really relate to, because you think like, oh, in order to be worthy and deserving, I have to look like I'm busy all the time. But it's really about fundamentally assessing, or I should say reassessing, the beliefs that lead us to these feelings and the behaviors that sustain them. It's about reevaluating our experiences that have shaped our beliefs, and recognizing that with each new experience, we have the chance to cultivate a belief system that supports our growth and our success. So I want you to remember this part, that mindset, the mindset that we foster, affects not just ourselves, but it has a ripple effect through our teams, our organizations, the people around us. If you've heard that story, I forget what it's called, but it's about the two wolves. And um, it's like basically another way of saying it. The wolf we feed is the wolf that leads, is another way of saying it. So if we feed our insecurities, it will be our insecurities that will be our decision makers and lead us, right? So our mindset, when we cultivate a strong mindset, one that's built on empowering ourselves, where we are growth minded, where we're open and vulnerable, where we lean on each other, where we ask for help, not feeling like an imposter, because that, if you ask for help, it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, because you're allowing other people's perspectives, ideas to help open you up to become, having those aha moments. These things can be the cornerstone upon which the culture of leadership is built. So today we're going to focus on understanding this intricate web of beliefs, emotions, actions, and results, and how we as leaders can master that to be overcome the challenges that we face. So we're going to talk about mindset and stress management, and how our mindset can be both the source of stress and the key to overcoming it. The way we interpret and react to stress really can either amplify our worries or equip us with the strength to face them head on. So think about your mindset as acting like a filter. If you view stress through a negative lens, where every challenge is a threat, it can lead to a cycle of anxiety, quick burnout, the kind of self-doubt that makes us question our worth and our path, right? Maybe your passion for what you're doing. Equally, on the flip side to that, a resilience-oriented mindset helps us to see stress as a necessary, manageable aspect of our leadership journey, and it's one that can test and ultimately enhance our capabilities. So by transforming our mindset, we have to start with awareness, recognizing the harmful narratives that we tell ourselves. For me, a profound shift came when I confronted the falsehoods that I'd believed about my own worth and success. Again, I once thought money and recognition were out of reach for someone like me, that they weren't meant for someone with my background, growing up poor in a single family home, that I grew up in social housing. My mother is white, my father is black. And so, these were lies that I told myself that were keeping me from reaching my potential, because I thought that I wasn't deserving of that. I recently went through an exercise of the lies that I tell myself and the actual truths. And it was really revealing to see, a lot of that came from, again, the childhood experiences and how I believed. I was actually believing how other people looked at me, perceived me. And I was actually basically putting words into their mouth, thoughts into their heads. And I know that it's further from the truth. So when you acknowledge these limiting beliefs, and when I did this, I should say, I began scripting or rewriting my internal dialogue, my internal script, and I started affirming my value, recognizing my achievements, and trusting in my ability to succeed. And it didn't just ease my stress, it actually transformed the way I approached every aspect of my life and work. Again, having quality of life professionally and personally is really important to me. And it's important to how I show up with the people that I work with. I want you to have quality of life all around. And so it's learning about transforming the way you approach, the way you think, really. It's because we have that power over our thoughts, but we don't realize that we do. And it's taking that power back. Another thing that I want to stress is that the signs of burnout can be subtle. I don't really talk about burnout as often, but they creep up on us, masked as irritability, fatigue, a drop in motivation, maybe a nagging sense that you're always playing catch up. And you might even not even recognize that these are signs of burnout because they are the quiet alarms that are signaling us for a mindset reset. So, I want to give you some strategies that help me pivot from stress to strength. First one is I have a gratitude practice. So each day I find moments to be thankful for the opportunities and abundance in my life, countering the scarcity mindset, right? I grew up with, because I did grow up with that mindset, believing one of the things I believed that money was just there to punish me. It was never there to support me. And I had to learn to switch that mindset. So going away from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset. So I start my days with gratitude, giving thanks for a brand new day where I've opened my eyes, I've taken a breath into a day that was not promised to me, but that now I get to experience. I also give thanks at the end of each day for a day well spent, for all of my interactions with others and my experiences. And I document that for future reference to remind me of this amazing life that I have been blessed to live. Now, my second is a mindfulness practice. I also make sure that I take time to be present. Okay, being present in the present moment. So, because there's a lot of outside noise, we all know that we live busy lives. There's so much going on at one time. At times, it feels like there's just so much going on. And so the way to counteract that is to really bring yourself within, to breathe and to center. So what I do is I take time to center myself, especially as most days I do have a busy schedule. And this has been a pivotal moment in reducing my stress. So I find ways to just slow it down, to become present moment aware. And it's been a great way for me to leave the outside noise outside and go within and recenter. So, like making sure that I'm taking a moment to close my eyes and do some deep breathing and just to relax and calm the nervous system, to becoming aware of my surroundings by even listening for the furthest sound away, the closest sound to me, or even sense of touch, rubbing two fingertips together and, just becoming really aware of me. And that's been really, really helpful to get back into that present moment awareness. And you're not like the outside distractions are at least removed for some time, so you feel better and you can get back at it. Affirmations is another thing. I also truly believe that words matter. You know that saying of sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, I truly don't believe that because as we know, words can be extremely painful. They can be really harmful, especially if you're pulling from the words in what I call it the secret bubble in our head, that place where we store up all the negative things we say to ourselves in secret, and we don't say them out loud, but they truly are harmful. You wouldn't say them to anyone else. You would say them to yourself, but you won't say them out loud because you don't want anyone to know that you're saying them, but you're saying them to yourself anyways, and they're extremely harmful. So when you replace your negative self-talk, those secret words in your secret bubble, with words of affirmation, and that are meant to, build you up. This is what I found, for me at least. It's helped to rebuild my self-esteem and my resilience and my confidence again, reach framing the narrative that I was telling myself. I also have reminders posted around my office space, all meant to encourage and inspire me and lift me up. Again, our words really do matter so very much, and it's the things that we say to ourselves that can make or break us. So I want you to remember that. And I also want you to remember that stress isn't just an individual struggle, it's actually a people issue, not just, and even a leadership issue. When you, as a leader, and you don't have to be a CEO to be a leader, by the way. You don't have to have a business to be a leader, but when you're in a leadership role and you're stressed, it filters down through your team, or the people that you are leading, the people around you. It affects your entire business. So when you learn to master your mindset, you not only enhance your own well-being, but you also set a positive example, and you create a more supportive environment for everyone around you and everyone that you lead. Okay, so now let's move on to decision making and team dynamics, because leadership is often considered, condensed, I should say, into the decisions that we make and the teams that we guide. So I want to explore how a leader's mindset is pivotal in these areas. When it comes to decision making, a growth mindset encourages us to weigh our choices, not just for the immediate gains, but for enduring impact, right? It's about recognizing that mistakes aren't setbacks, but opportunities to learn and improve. Again, if you're looking at your mistakes as things that are like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with this? You're missing the whole point of a lesson that could be, gleaned from what happened. This approach frees us from the fear of failure that can paralyze our decision making, which allows us to make bold choices, right, that drive meaningful progress. A positive mindset can also aid in shifting how we manage and inspire our teams. A leader who approaches challenges with optimism and a can do attitude can instill the same in their team. I also believe that with a growth mindset, you allow yourself to be open to others' perspectives, allowing for your team, if you do lead a team, or if you're in a leadership role, you are allowing them to confidently bring their ideas forward, to have an open dialogue for the benefit of everyone, which can lift the morale and increase productivity as your team members reflect the same resilience and positivity they see in you as their leader. So, to foster a positive team environment, you can consider things like these tips that I want to give you, some practical tips. So, number one would be communicating clearly and positively, and which ensures that your team knows the why behind what they're doing. This creates a shared sense of purpose and keeps morale high. I think it's really, really important that communication has to be one of the most important fundamentals of your business when you have a team, especially, or if you're a leader and you're leading a group of people, because no one can read your mind, right? We can't read minds. It's just not something that's possible for us, not at this stage of our, at least we're not there yet that I know of. Maybe they're in secret doing something about that, but for the most part, I know in my world, I cannot read the minds of the people around me. So that's why it's so, and they can't read mine. So it's so important to be communicating clearly and positively to ensure that, you know, people around me, when I'm, or my team, when I'm asking them what they're doing, they understand the why behind what I'm asking them to do. So encouraging growth, and encourage the growth, right, by promoting continuous learning and development. So like when your team members grow, they feel valued, they feel supported, they feel that you're investing in their success. Now, for me, the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because I did recently, I think maybe 3 weeks ago, I did a workshop for a medical center for healthcare professionals in London. And it was around burnout and self care. And one of the things that was really brought up was that they felt that they were not supported because their their organization didn't supply time for them to go to self-development classes, like even if it was only an hour or 30 minutes on the company's time, they provided them access only if it would be on the employee's time. Now, these people are working 13-hour days and they're just tired by the time they get home. So I'm sure anyone who works a long day or you're busy at the end of your day, the last thing you want to think about is hopping onto a self-development course or class, master class or workshop, and to learn about how to manage your time more effectively, to recognize signs of burnout. You understand that you are burning out, and part of that is you need your time for you. And so it was really important for them, um, it's really important for them to be acknowledged by that. And I think it's important that we as leaders or business owners, that we acknowledge and we reward our teams by giving them that availability of time to learn, um, you know giving them time, if it's on our even if it's on our dime. We were all once employees, most of us, at one point, and so we know when we've been given on another organization's time, given us that time for us to learn. For the most part, I know that I was when I was working full time for a company, and so it's really about making that time for them so they feel valued and so that they can grow. This is going to support That's going to support you. It's going to promote loyalty and foster that community. So you really want to make sure that you are putting things like this in place. Also, again, when I talk about acknowledging and rewarding your team for by recognizing their efforts and their achievements, again, whether that's you giving them some kind of gift or whether it's even just a simple thank you, this not only validates their hard work, it also encourages them to keep pushing boundaries. I cannot tell you how many times a simple "you are doing great" has gone a long way in reinforcing that I'm doing something right instead of being reminded of when I'm doing something wrong. Does that make sense? So implementing these mindset shifts isn't just about changing who you are, it's about evolving into the leader your team needs you to be. So, one who sees beyond the horizon and brings out the best in those they lead. So, as we come to a close for today, I encourage you to take a moment and consider how you can apply what you've learned today into your role as a leader, whether you lead a team or you find yourself in a leadership role from time to time. Think about one mindset shift that you can commit to this week that could make a significant difference in your approach to leadership challenges. So, I just want to remind you, just reflect a little bit back, that today we learned about how a resilient and growth mindset resilient and growth minded mindset, I should say, can dramatically impact your stress management, your decision making, and team dynamics, which empowers us to lead more effectively and with a greater fulfillment. And as you think about your role as a leader, how do you plan to integrate strategies to enhance your leadership style? Or let's look at it a different way. Maybe there are challenges related to mindset that you're facing. And so I want to leave you with some questions to help you think about this more and as you reflect on it, right? So, what's one, because again, too, before I say that, before I tell you what the questions are, I want you to also put a feeling behind we're in your response, because our emotions usually are what are driving us to respond the way we do. So, first question is, what is one belief you currently hold that might be limiting your leadership potential? Again, like I told you, it came down to self-worth, and a lot of it was money related. Or maybe what maybe could be affecting how you lead as it pertains to how you see yourself. Like I said, self-worth, maybe not feeling like I said, for um, uh, my own specific example was me feeling like, because I came from a biracial family, that I grew up in social housing to a single family home, that I wasn't deserving. So I didn't think that I was good enough. So again, what's one belief you currently hold that might be limiting your leadership potential, or maybe that's affecting how you lead as it pertains to how you see yourself? The second is, how can you reframe a challenging situation to see it as an opportunity for growth? And the third question, in what ways can you foster a more growth oriented environment within your team? So those are the three questions. Thanks again for joining me today for Mindset Mastery Overcoming Leadership Challenges. It's been a deep dive into the profound impact our mindset has on every aspect of our leadership journey. Remember, the beliefs shaped by our experiences steer the course of our thoughts, our emotions, and ultimately the results that we achieve. And those can all reinforce our beliefs. So let this be a reminder that your experiences create your beliefs motivate your thoughts influence your emotions dictate your actions produce your results, and your results reinforce your beliefs. These are not just words, but a cycle that can uplift or limit us. They underscore the power of mindset in our roles as leaders and in our lives. I want to express my gratitude to you for your engagement of watching this live or watching it back. And I hope to get your comments. I hope the insights gained today inspire you to take meaningful action. And may your actions echo back to fortify the empowering beliefs that serve you best. Keep these reflections close and let them guide you as you continue to navigate your leadership path. Stay connected, keep sharing your journey, and remember that in leadership, as in life, our mindset is the lens through which we view the world. It's our most powerful tool for change. Take care, continue to lead with purpose, and I'll see you next time.